Keep Trekking is not just a channel, it's an adventure. So get your boots on and come with us. It's worth the journey. Experience your local landscape. Breathe in the air this ancient land has to offer. So let's go.
Welcome to Keep Trekking. Welcome back if there's been a four. Do you know, sometimes you just go out for a walk and you haven't got a clue where you're going and you just wing it. Well, that's me today. Usually I make a plan of where I'm going to go, map it out if I'm not following an actual route that's already laid down. But today I'm just heading up for Warncliffe Crags and just see where I end up. It's an adventure. Still doing building work at Deepker. Don't seem to have got very far since last time I was down here. But hey oh, let's have an adventure.
I walked up Station Road towards the old disused railway station.
The back of me is the old Deepker railway station, which is part of the old Sheffield-Manchester line. It opened on the 15th of July 1859. Unfortunately it's part of the old Beecham's closures, so it closed on the 13th of June 1959. Shame really. It's now private residence, so I'll not stop here too long. Let's get on with this journey.
As I made my usual mistakes with dates, I looked back across the mill building site that they're doing at Deepker. Still a long way to go. A little bit further on I went through a gate onto some wasteland and I looked back at the old railway station. I see the path in front of me open up. I soon looked across to the railway line that still runs today. As I continued on the wasteland, I looked across at the hills on the far side. Truly magnificent place this. As I looked up at the sun coming through the clouds, I thought this is definitely a better day than what we're used to lately. I soon came to a path on my left hand side which I took, which led me down onto a small track that eventually led me to a tunnel.
So, where to go? Like I said, normally what I do if I'm going out, especially the day before, I'll map a route and usually follow it. But today I thought, just wing it, Jay. Just wing it. See how you get on. I'm going to go up onto the Warncliffe Chase and then see if there's any trails I can follow while I'm up there. There's quite a few. I know there is. There's the Warncliffe Chase actually trail itself, and there's a few others. There's the Barnsley Boundary Walk. That's another one I could possibly follow if I catch up with the signs. There's quite a few. So I'm not going to get stuck for the trail. Who knows how long this is going to be. It's left it a bit late getting out again today. It's nearly 2 o'clock. I've been going about 15 minutes. So, plenty of daylight left. And it's not a bad day, to be fair, compared to the weather we've had recently. It's been a bit bad, hasn't it? That's one massive supporting wall, that. Presume that's to do with railway. Comes all the way across. The railway line's not far above it, to be fair. That's one beast of a wall. Been there that long. Even tree stumps are growing, aren't it? Does anybody ever remember this stuff when you were bairns? You were kiddies. You used to chuck it on each other and see it used to stick to you. Oh, the laughs.
After talking my usual rubbish, I finally came to the tunnel. where the Transpennine Trail runs across the top. First tunnel of a few. I headed in an uphill direction on this really sketchy path.
Oh, now then, tough decision. Do I go right, or do I go left, or do I go straight up? This is an hard one. So I've decided to go right, but I'm not sure if I make correct decision here because I ain't got my passport. It's a tricky thing, isn't it? Where are we? Sheffield, boundary here, right on border. So the path that I'm on at the moment, this is called Plank Gate. It's quite a long, straight, not so wide path really. It leads all the way down into Warncliffe side, or maybe even Outerbridge to be fair. I don't know how far that direction it goes, if it only goes up to Deepcare or if it continues. I don't rightly know. But this is Plank Gate and we're heading up towards Warncliffe Crags eventually, where the views from there are stunning.
Looks like I'm not the only one out enjoying this nice summer's day. It's nice to see people out and about. Not much to say really, I just find this wee tree amongst the big ones nice.
Medic!
Continue for a wee while longer before I came to my next junction.
So, another decision. I don't think I'm going to take the path to my right. That drops me down towards Warncliffe side. I don't want to be going down there. So I'm going to take that path to the left, which should eventually take me up to Warncliffe Crags. Better option, I think.
After passing another Sheffield sign, I continued in an uphill direction. Another sign from the gods. It's now becoming an habit, is this?
What a numpty. I've not brought my water bladder today. So I filled the canister up with water. Popped it in my bag, one side pockets. Just come to have a drink. And it's fell out. I'm hoping it's fell out in the car while I was picking my bag up. So, I've got no fluids. What a numpty. Numpty.
I continued in uphill direction. This was actually steeper than it looks. A well-deserved rest when I got to the top. I found a stone, well, big rock, and sat on it for 5 minutes to grasp my breath.
Just having 2 minutes here. That took a lot out of me, did that. I like that. Oof. Not as fit as I used to be. It's the recovery that matters. I'm heading that direction in a minute, which will take me the bottom side of the crags, well, the bottom side, which will lead up to the crags from the bottom side of it. But wow, that was steep. I'll sit here a minute and contemplate, have a few minutes before I move on.
I went to my left and followed a very narrow path that led me on the bottom side of the crags. The path gradually got sketchier and sketchier as I went on. You really must watch your footing on this section, as one false move and it could all be over.
Hasn't nature got a funny way of expressing itself? Look at that branch, that trunk sticking out. Looks like possibly a unicorn. Maybe with two horns like, but exclude the one that's closest to us, it looks like a unicorn with its hornbrock. Mother Nature, absolutely wonderful.
As I neared the top, the views just opened up like a book. Absolutely outstanding. As I continued, the path got narrower and narrower, but less sketchy. As a plane flew over my head, I contemplated what views they must have from above.
Looking up, you see the start of the crags here, in the trees, and soon I shall be on them. Now if that's not a sketchy path, I don't know what is. Proper sketchy.
All of a sudden the path became clear and less sketchy. Nice to walk on this. I walked a wee bit further and we came to my first real crags. As I looked down, I thought to myself, I'm so glad I'm not stood on that edge. The views were still amazing though, and well worth the trip. The recent rains that we've had has certainly made its toll on this path, but there's always a way around it. You'll not beat me.
Well, ain't that typical? Somebody smashed gate to bits. It's one of those cross gates. Somebody smashed it to bits, probably bolted it through. That's what we deal with. That's looking over towards Warncliffe side. As you pan back round towards Udin Valley, you keep coming across the Bithams at the bottom, and there's a pan round. You've got the start of Deepker there in distance and Stocksbridge just a bit further on, and that's the Pennines in the back. It's absolutely stunning up here. Even better when I get further on.
The crags are such an amazing place, well worth the trip. Those who live local should at least make the trip once in their life. Looking over towards Deepker in the distance, you see the Happy Valley, Steel Valley, whatever you want to call it. It looks amazing from up here, really does. Rock climbers, fantastic sport if you want to do that. Not for me though. As I look back across the crag's front, you just see the extent of the size of the place. Truly is amazing. As I look down again, I'm still glad I'm not there.
Well, I was going to stop and have a sit down up on the crags, but it's a bit windy. And there's loads of people up there rock climbing and just sitting about, and I presume because we've had a rubbish weather recently that people's decided to come out today. So we're just moving on a bit and then find somewhere I can sit for 15 minutes and just chill, soak all this up. before I move on. Really is beautiful up here though, I've got to say. Really is. Well, I found somewhere to sit, a bit further away from everybody. Beautiful view over the valley. Now, Wharncliffe Crags, they've been mining quorn, I think it's quorn, or quern, could be quern. I'll put the spelling on the screen for you now. Here since the Iron Age, right up to the Roman period of Britain, occupation of Britain. Back in the 2000s they had a fire which covered about 8 acres, and they uncovered loads more quern, or corn, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, stones and quarries around these parts. The name Wharncliffe comes from, or derives from, Quorn Cliff, so it might be Quorn, Quorn, but it's spelled Q-U-E-R-N, but I'll put it across the screen for you like I said. Way back to the Iron Age, millions of years old these, but it's absolutely stunning up here, fantastic.
The views I had looking across while I was sat there contemplating for 20 minutes. Really didn't want to move. It was amazing. You get the new with the old. An electric pylon stuck right in the middle. Continued on and passed through another gate, where I continued, but this time it was downhill.
A couple of the old dried up mill ponds here, and the far end there runs down into this bigger one. A little wall. How am I going to get over that? Oh, need a boat. Just come up to the bigger mill pond now. I'm surprised there's nobody here today, to be honest, because it's usually evening this place. I know it's a weekday. The lily pads. That's nice. But yeah, there's usually loads of people here doing some sort of taddy fishing or some sort. I've swam in that years ago. Ugh. Well, I'd think I were doing it now. That is murky.
As I continued, I came to some steps. Well, what used to be steps by the looks of it. Only a few remain. I kept going and headed downhill. Now I was on the return journey back.
I just realised something. This takes me down to that tunnel that I don't like. I may have to find a different route. I hate that tunnel. Gives me creeps. So I may have to find a different route around it. These woods are absolutely beautiful. I've got to say, I love it in here. I always think though that somebody's watching you or following you when I'm in here. It's one of them strange types of feelings that you get. It possibly is. One of the old gods watching over me, no doubt. I remember just being on about that place, that little dam, that little pond, a wee pond. And I always remember camping there when we were kids. Somebody's watching me. Alright fella. Alright mate, not too bad. We were. Oh aye. And remember doing camping up there with a load of mates. About October time I think it was. It weren't warm. But you do things like that, build a wee campfire, which you never do, never recommend building a fire in the woods. but as your kids you do things like that. But anyway, and we were telling stories, and this lad came out with a story saying that him and his mate, you know what I mean, him and his mate were walking through these woods one day, and there's a massive path that goes all the way around, a proper path. In fact, I'm coming to it in a minute. And he says once upon a time he was walking down these way, or he knew somebody that were, always knew somebody that were. And he says his mate saw somebody dressed up in period clothing, like Tudor clothing, with a buttle shoes and that. Did I say Tudor? Stuart period, I meant. And he says he saw him walking, all of a sudden they disappeared. Well, obviously our kids were like, whoa. But yeah, we're telling little campfire stories and things and getting each other spooked. Quite fun really, when you're looking back. This is the path I'm talking about. It's one of the main paths that runs through, rather than these sketchy paths that I've just come down. It's like a main trail that actually runs through the woods. I'm carrying straight on, but I know I'm going to come to them tunnels very soon. If I can go over it, I will, but I don't think I can, because I think the railway still runs on top of it. The railway still runs as a freight into the steelworks. I think it only runs at night now, but I could be completely wrong on that one. Anybody that works at steelworks or knows about it, please drop me a comment in the comments below. But it definitely don't run that often. But there's like all different paths coming off. It's quite nice in it, really is nice in here. It's like paths all coming off it, different trails you can do. I've not come across a proper trail as such. I know I keep flipping the camera, I'm sorry, but my arm's getting a bit numb. But yeah, there's loads of these trails. I've not come across a proper trail like the boundary walks or something that I could have done. But I've still done 4 mile time I've done today, which is not too bad to say the time I got out. I'm leaving it a bit late. Really should get out a bit earlier. I've got things to do and things. I wouldn't like to think I'm ever swimming in this one. I think I pointed this out in the older video, but look at the state of that. Another mill pond. Not quite a mill pond these days. That's quite disgusting. I really wouldn't want to be in that one. I'm coming up to the first of the 2 tunnels now. This one's not so bad. I could actually go over this one. It's the second tunnel that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I might just have to grip my teeth and bear it and go through. Suppose I might have to. Catch you in a minute. This is the first of the 2 tunnels. Could actually go over this. Am I looking at the inside of that? I may just do, to be fair. The TPT, the Old Transpennine Trail, runs actually above this. The bit. In fact I will do, and I'll show you. It's the uninhabited part of the TPT. Not like most of it, which is now a proper trail. I'll go and show you. Right, if anybody's seen one of my previous videos, an older one, you know I've done this. Now this is the actual Transpennine Trail, just like our track really, path. You can see where the tree line, if you turn around you'll be able to see it better that way. Between the trees, and you can see where the trail, where the railway lines used to run. You've got up to that far wall there, and up to that fence just over here, the other end of the tunnel. But all this would have been railway lines, probably 4, looks like you could have 2 at either side maybe. Quite wide for just 2 tracks I think. But this is part of the Transpennine Trail, believe it or not guys. You won't know it. but it is. This is where I break my neck. Getting out to the bottom of there. Quite sketchy. I'll just take my time. I'll see you at the bottom, guys. So I'm at the bottom. Scale that. The other side of the tunnel, the first tunnel. But I ain't looking forward to this second one. I really do not like this tunnel. I don't know what it is. I'm definitely taking my shades off when I go through it. It's dark enough. But honestly do not like this tunnel. But there's no other way around. I'm going to have to go through it. So it's man up, Jay. Grit your teeth and go for it. You've done it that many times in the past. And every time I just don't like it. I remember coming through it, I think the last time I did this, not this trail but through here, and the camera flickered all the way through. I got about midway and the camera started going like this on screen, so it went fuzzy as if it were like electricity, static. As soon as I got through the other side it was fine, but certainly do not. There's something about this tunnel. I don't know what it is, but it's creepy. I'll see you at the other side, one way or another.
As I got to the tunnel, I held my breath and went for it.
I really don't like that, but today, don't know what it were, I didn't feel anything. Man, I didn't hang around. It took me about 5 seconds, if that, to get through that tunnel. And it's twice as long as the other one. But I didn't run. It's as sludgy as hell in there with all that rain we've had. But I'm through it. Survive another day.
Once through the tunnel, I got my breath back and just continued on this lovely path. Not far to go now. I could see the entrance to where the car was, so I headed downhill back onto Station Road where I started this trail.
Well guys, back to the start, back to the building site that they seem to be taking forever to do. Must be a load of houses, I think. But it weren't a bad wee trail. It was steady apart from that one incline. I soon recovered from that, so it weren't too bad. So I'm going to leave the video here, just a wee one today, not major. Thank you very much for watching. Keep trekking, trek on. Till next time, Civvy, ain't next. Ta-da.